Head this morning.
There you go.
For those of you that Tim's known me for over 20 years, some of you have been around with us in the business since we started. I used to actually have hair like Jed. and now we've swapped. We're the yin and yang of our business. We balance each other out in a great way. So Jed, do you mind standing and just... This is Jed Knight.
In my basement, he had hair just like, actually a little bit longer. He had an Axl Rose headband.
That was cool then. Okay, so let's move forward into feeling stages. And how many in here have seen this slide before, familiar with this? Okay, so even for you that are really familiar, some of you have actually used it in your prospecting, in sharing the business with people, and in your fact field, finding with people, understanding who they are and what their journey in their life has been. I'm going to ask you to think about it in the context of investment today, right? And how it pertains to that period. So I'm going to go over, and I know that we're a little challenged for some reason with the color here today. So if you have to raise your hand if you've got a question, and I'll make sure and what you may not see or see on the slide, I'll make sure and point out. But this, what you're looking at, is this bottom line here is time, okay? And this blue line you can equate to the volume of your business in perspective of or context of Nuskin. That this line could be income, this line could be, acknowledgement, but this over time is, you can see some growth in that line. The names, the words down here have to do with feelings, okay? This is feeling stages. And these are the feelings, and I find myself saying scientific or statistical or historic, because these are the things that we see that repeat themselves with the feelings that we have when we do different things in our lives. And there's stages. So you're going to see different stages in here with the startup, with growth, with advanced growth, plateau, or decline. These different stages are separated by what we call these walls. There's the first wall and the second wall. That, as you can see, there is the feelings that move along this timeline. And I believe that many of you that may be seeing this for the first time, by reading those feelings, will associate them with the things that you've done. Some of you may not remember real clearly those feelings of when you started up, or when you were in investment phase, maybe not even knowing clearly what investment phase is, or the feelings attached to growth. What I have found in the last year of using this in the field and using this with family and friends and even looking at it and applying in my own personal life is that these different stages, that there are patterns that I've seen in my own life and I've seen develop with others. That we have a pattern that we've consistently reproduced or continue to go through in our life over and over and over with the things that we do. That some have a pattern of repeating the startup process. That some have a pattern of starting up and moving into an investment phase that will then, because they did invest, will take them into a growth phase. And they see what we call payback for their efforts. And this could be someone's pattern. Others will have a pattern that they'll go through this and they'll hit another wall where they have to develop new skills and really focus on these 5 things of their identity, who the relationships that they have in their life, the responsibility that they take on, the ownership that they assume in their life and the things that they're doing. The skills, new skills, skilling up in different areas, they're getting clear on the skills that are important to them, and then also what their purpose is. with what the connection with what they're doing and really their life's purpose. So skilling up in the second wall has to do with these 5 things. When someone does this, they develop a pattern of going through here, all the way into advanced growth. Other times that we will choose by choice, plateau or decline, or in some cases, other people will choose for us this decline, which we've seen over the last 40 years or so in the state of the economy, right? Changes. So, looking at these patterns, I'm going to go over really quick these feelings that people have had. And again, I'm going to suggest that you look back at the things you've done in your life, and even specifically with Nuskin. What are the feelings that you've had with Nuskin? When I use this in the field or do small group trainings in this that many have been involved with, we'll actually use an individual and ask questions about the feelings that they had through these different stages, which has been powerful for a group to hear what another person has gone through. And I'm going to ask you just to take my experience from this, that every single one of us in this room has gone through or will go through these feelings with Nuskin. So when you accept that, then it becomes an awareness that you understand, okay, this is what's ahead of me, and so when I'm actually in that space, then I know exactly where I am. Not right, not wrong, it is. So when we have that experience, we're able to have the awareness to know where we are, and then also what it is that we really need to do to actually continue to move forward beyond it or into it. So when you first start up, and I'll just use you guys. When you first start up, you maybe those of you here today looking at Nuskin for the very first time, and you're not in Nuskin. What is the feeling that you have when you're thinking about the potential of creating success with Nuskin? And all of the things you're going to hear about today on what's possible. People are going to come across the stage that have made $1 million, $5 million, $10 million, $20 million. And you're going to hear about their lifestyles and what Nuskin has allowed them to create as a result of building this business. So what's that feeling that you have about that potential?
Hope.
Hope? Okay. Excitement, right? Excitement. So right here we see excited. I'm going to ask you guys questions, and the answers are right here. See them. So this is the common thing, right? We're excited. When I was making the decision to move to Florida, thinking about becoming a professional wakeboarder, moving from Oregon, I was very excited. Right? Very excited about the potential of Nuskin and what it could deliver. Meeting Jed and knowing what he did and talking with Nathan, very excited. Well, this happens to be a place where we're unconsciously incompetent. We're not aware of what it is that we don't know because we don't even know anything about what we're doing or what we want to do, what we're potentially going to do. So then you get signed up in the business. Okay, you sign up, you sign your LOI, you buy your business in a builder package, and what's the feeling almost in that moment? Whoa. Right? It's like you moved in the snap of the fingers from I don't know what I don't know to all of a sudden I'm very clear I don't know. Consciously incompetent. You just now you're aware. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I'm a wakeboarder. Holy cow! What am I doing in skincare and vitamins? Right? What did that guy Jed Knight do say to get my credit card to fly out of my pocket? Right? It's his fault. Tim Updike calling me after he placed his business builder package, freaking out, angry with me. You know, so. We have a frantic energy that really happens that is followed really quickly and associated with anxious. Because we get into action. Our upline says, okay, here's the steps, here's the system, here's what we're going to do. We want to talk with the best relationships that you have. If you're like me and it's Nathan and Jed saying this, and I'm like, are you crazy? I'm I'm a professional athlete. I'm not going to put a network marketer on the phone with my friends. Right? So in this frantic and anxious feeling of just knowing, okay, I don't know what I'm doing, right? And I've got to learn. You got a lot of resistance around. Even how many people have felt that? Okay, right? Marco and Monty say, hey, will you work with us? You're in town. Will you work with us? Absolutely. I'm coming over. Okay, what are we going to do? I want to talk to your best people. Oh. Right? Want some coffee? Want some breakfast? So this, if for those of you that have done a lot of personal development work and self-actualization, self-awareness of the theory that we always have a reflection in front of us. The you as a group are my reflection. My wife is my reflection. My prospects are my reflection. That when we're in a place of frantic or anxious, what do we consistently see in front of us?
Frantic and anxious.
Yeah, other people that are frantic and anxious, which this doesn't create very effective results in this space, okay? All right? A lot of pain, a lot of frustration, a lot of anxiety, a lot of like, I don't know if I'm going to continue. I almost called you last week and told you I was going to quit. That's what this space is, okay? And it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. Again, we know this is happening. What we want to get you to as fast as possible, and some will move to this place faster than others, some in hours, some in days, some in months, some in years, to move from this anxious and anxious to this investment place, where a surrendering happens. That they literally just turn it over. That they say, okay, I'm going to be a Nuskin for the rest of my life. I'm bought into the culture, the products. I have a belief that this is what I want in my life. This is the vehicle that I choose. These are the people that I choose. And I'm just going to surrender to it. I'm going to follow the system. I'm going to invest like Charlie and Jed and the rest of my upline have encouraged me to do, to go where I say I want to go. Now, what we know statistically, I would ask you, what percentage of the population repeats this right here? That everything they do, they get excited, frantic, anxious, frustrated, and quit. 100%. Thankfully, no. Thankfully, no. Any other guesses? Up to people in Florida. 95% statistically do this, right? Now, over and over and over, everything they do, we know these people, right? And honestly, you no show of hands or anything, but you may be one of those people. That's what your pattern has been. My belief is, and awareness that I've seen through working with other people, is that I don't believe that people are aware that they're having these feelings, as well as that everyone else has these feelings. That every team elite that you've seen on stage or you will see on stage, we all went through these same feelings, just like you do. Just like your people will. Every single one of us. In everything that we do. So when you have awareness, say, okay, wow, I'm going through this, other people are going to go through it. This is normal. Because what most people that quit, I believe, that they don't believe that other people have the same feelings. Well, Charlie must not have felt frustrated like I do. I mean, there's no way. I've talked to every person I've ever known. Not actually real that that's happened. You may believe that. It's not factual. That there's no way these other people have gone through this and created success. Their journey is not like my journey. If they knew how I feel, if they knew what kind of friends I have, they knew all those things. They're all constants, you guys, for all of us. What the difference is between this 95% and this 5% that see this is this right here. Investment window. That's surrendering. So how many have read the book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell? So there's a chapter in there that talks about the 10,000 hour rule. about the fact that it takes 10,000 hours of repeating something, practice, repetition, over and over and over, to develop a level of mastery. To go from unconsciously incompetent to consciously incompetent to consciously competent, and then to unconsciously competent. It requires that 10,000 hours. So what is this 10,000 hours here for Nuskin? What is that? Demos, I heard. What else? Presentations. TEU. So I'm going to add an ingredient to that. This is all about the 10,000 hours is you doing the demos, you doing the presentations, you going to Team Lead University. What was the other? Other things? 3-way calls. What else? General's call. Team calls. Leadership development. Using the products. Meeting in your own city. Build a meeting in your own city. All of these things have to do with there. Getting on stage yourself, becoming a presenter, sharing your story, being a guest on the general's call, being a guest on a team call, leading a team call, leading a general's call. All of that is this investment window of investment in yourself and then an investment of others. Do you see this line here? Do you guys see growth in this line here through that investment? So, if you equate this just for me, I got in the business because of money. Is this valuable, this phase?
Yes.
Yeah. Because what follows it as well? Right? So this investment window, what we've seen statistically, and Casey Council and I were talking about this last night, is that we know the longer that someone stays in this window, the greater the growth phase. So the longer you stay, the more you invest, you continue to invest, the bigger the growth phase. The bigger the reward. And you're also reaping the reward while you're in it. That people are following you. They're following your example. You're building your business. You're developing leaders through the calls, through the meetings, through your prospecting. You're coming to Team Elite University every single month. And people follow you. Because you're able to say, hey, why don't you come with me? Why don't you come with me to this weekly meeting? Why don't you come with me to this regional event? Why don't you come with me to Team Elite University? Why don't you get on this call with me? That you're actually doing all these things. Right? In the field that you why don't I go out and do some presentations with you, some demos, some scanning, to teach you how to do this, so you can see what it looks like. Right? So this investment window, I know Casey's been in it for 5 years, that investment window. And I know our business, and wow, what a return. Now, what follows that, in this investment window, is just being really comfortable. And more of a relaxed intensity happens for people. Because of the surrendering, all of this energy, like this, I'm excited, and I'm just sponsoring a new person to, oh my gosh, somebody quit, or I'm going to TU alone, right? To, oh, I'm excited, oh. How many have gone through that roller coaster? Okay? Right? How painful is it, right? Who's on the bottom end of that roller coaster right now? Okay? Guess where you'll be at the end of this weekend? Yeah. Because you're here. So I know it's painful for you guys to be on that roller coaster. You probably won't believe this. Probably like your parents saying, it hurts me more than it hurts you. Is that it's more painful for us watching you go through this. And it's like, oh man, when are they going to surrender? I look forward to that moment when they surrender. So then you're just like this. Your energy is just neutral. It's just like this. Because you develop a knowing space of where your business is going. And that your specific journey doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be everyone's journey. If you took, 6 years to get to Ruby, it's not going to take other people 6 years to get to Ruby. Your journey specifically is not the same as everyone. Now, everyone's going to go through these feelings, right? They're all going to go through these feelings. And following this investment phase, this window here, is that good times, relax. Well, actually right here, it's not up on here. We call this space right here where you come out, we call it francious. You kind of back a little bit anxious, frantic, okay? Because now you're like really aware, like I totally know how to do this. I'm consciously competent. And so now some people can really realize like, wow, it's on me. If it's going to be, it's up to me. Right? And that's really a leadership place where people will really take ownership and be bottom line for their business. Right? Like, wow, it's not about Charlie. It's really never been about Charlie. It's about me. And so that next feeling is what we call good times and a relaxed intensity. How many of you understand what I mean by relaxed intensity, or have an example of that? I would expect that you're going to see that from most of the speakers that are on stage, if not all of them, this weekend. Is that they're all going to be communicating from a knowing space because of this investment window. Because they've gone through this practice, they've gone through everything that has got them to where they are right now. Of course, there's going to be more in the future, but they're going to communicate and speak on topics and from a place of knowing. And literally, we will not put someone on stage unless they have that knowing space for specifically their topic. And that is the result. That growth is the return. I mean, in your volumes, in your executive organization count, in your commissions. And ultimately, you hit a phase here where there is a euphoric feeling and a feeling of payback, that you're getting paid back for all of that investment and all that hard work, and that you really are making not only how much money you wanted to make or you feel like you're worth, but more than what you really believe you're worth. Okay? Until you hit a place where it's like euphoric, where it's just like, wow, I'm going to do this business forever. Like, why wouldn't I do this forever? I mean, this is all the returns and the benefits, and now you're getting more out of it than what you even bought into. And I don't just mean financially. Like our journey, my journey with Nuskin, if Jed told me that this is what it was going to look like over 9 years, I would have never believed it. Additionally, the things that have happened to me weren't important to me 9 years ago. They really became important to me along that journey over the last 9 years. The value is greater than what I believed it was. It's bigger than what I believed it was. So when I felt this feeling in Nuskin, it was like all of a sudden it felt like it was raining money. And it was just, I had never been made that much money before. It was really a feeling that it was overwhelming. That I just, wow, unbelievable. As my lifestyle matched, which is a pattern of me, and a little beyond, which is a pattern of me. But fortunately, continued to see growth, right? But that was followed by two things down here. The next thing is frustration, and then stress, and then disillusion. And I share this with you because this happened for me a little over a year ago, January, when I called Jed and said, I'm done. I'd actually been retired for about a year, working about 6 hours a month, focused on my marriage, and I just got to a place where I just don't think I'm going to continue on. I mean, we have this residual income. It's grown 30% in the last year that I've been really part-time, and so I'm done. Because I was extremely frustrated with myself and my own personal leadership. I was frustrated with the results that I wanted that I didn't have. And it was all brought on me. And I just honestly didn't know if I had it in me to skill up or to learn what I didn't know. I was frustrated. I went from that euphoric feeling of payback that I was going to do this forever to then like, wow, maybe I'm not. Maybe it's not for me forever. Ava's going to become Mr. Mom, Dad, and check out. And that was when I met Stu and Jen. And Casey and I were working with them, and Stu went over this with me. Stu and Jen both went over it with Casey and I. And I understood why I was feeling why I was, and the pattern that I had in my life, which was this: every 8 years. And so it became clear to me that if that's my pattern, the things that I do in the future, then I'm destined to do the same thing until I do something different. So I chose that this was the opportunity with this group of peers that we chose into together to skill up and for me to focus on these things, which I've been doing for the last year, to go into advanced growth, where I really want to be, versus choosing decline. This space, I don't really believe that it exists so much in my life because it's been one or the other. And that's where I was choosing, was decline in Nuskin. After understanding of my emotions and my feelings, I chose to reinvest and to skill up, to invest in myself. And we say, and you'll hear in this, that this is really a personal development program with a compensation plan. I watched Beth take herself on and her business explode. Gina and Casey take themselves on and explode. Brett Guida, Tim Updike, Nick Weinecker, Larry, and Beth. I go through everybody that's been on this journey with us, and others outside of the city, that they've invested in themselves. And when you invest in yourself, your business will follow that growth. And what I'm going to get into later is specifically how LTO works exactly with that. With that investment phase, you invest, massive growth. You invest, massive growth. But they go hand in hand. And there are periods, kind of seasons, cycles, rhythm that we have for every 6 months with that. And there's a direct correlation. And you'll hear that from all of the leadership. That, by example, Jed doing the same thing. We've chosen in to reinvest and skill up. And then this is something, if you notice, what comes next in this advanced growth? Oh no, another one? Seriously, I don't know if I can take another one. It's what? It's tiny. Thank you, Mary. It's smaller. But what you see in this phase right here is all of this again. All of that again. The alternative for me that I realize, and I believe is true for all of us, is that when I choose decline, I'm choosing to go back into this phase right here with something else. And I mean, if you're like me, this phase, that's not so much fun, right? That investment phase is absolutely crucial for us, and really for the rest of our lives. We continue to invest. We continue to reinvest in ourselves. We continue to skill up. We invest in our community. We invest in our team. We invest in each other. We take responsibility for things that aren't always comfortable because other people know it's in our best interest and it's offered. Or maybe sometimes we request it. So the main piece, again, for us in the context is investment. And that's what you're doing. You're here and you're investing. You're investing in yourselves. You're investing in this time. You're present. You got up at 5:30 in the morning to be here. Right? Like, that's not normal. You guys aren't normal.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, right? Yeah. Who wants to be normal?
Charley?
Yes.
Can I just see you to just do a quick refresh of the emotions or feelings underneath there? Just
Yeah.
pick up on them.
Absolutely.
They're unreadable.
So we've got excited, frantic, anxious. How many are in this space right here? Okay. I know a few more people aren't raising their hands. So we've got comfortable, invest. Now you guys, Larry just said yesterday after 2 years that he's right here. He finally just entered into the first wall after 2 years. And I say that because that's huge. Awareness for Larry. What's happened? He's surrendered. Right? It's like, oh, I'm home. I'm not going to migrate as an influence like I always do. I'm home. It doesn't matter how long it's been or how little time it's been. If you're in this space, it's okay. It's having the awareness of where you are. So, comfortable, invest. How many people really feel like, okay, they made it to this their home, they're in this investment phase? How many of you are in this space? Okay. The next thing is followed by, it's not on here, but fractious, then relaxed, good times, then euphoria, payback. See, now it's starting to go into like more of a vertical growth, followed by frustration, stress, disillusion, research, energized, loss. How many relate with this? These feelings, for the things in your life and Nuskin? Well, last year my context was all around awareness, and it was these frameworks and these tools that allowed me to understand where I was, what I was going through, and really how to move forward to what I'm connected to in my life's purpose and where I'm going with Nuskin and really why. So I've asked a few people to really share their experience this morning on the investment that they made over the last year, and one or two of them that really just knew with us that have made the commitment of the investment and surrendered to what they're going to do over the rest of this year. So could I have Pam and Jeff come down to the front, and Diana and Tim Updike and Mercedes.
Why are we so quiet?
Yeah! One second.
I love you, Mom.
Gina, thank you. Yeah, I was bringing up my list, but it was like,
No, I was going to blank the screen over.
oh, no, but you're down here too. That was your intuition. Okay, so this group, I have had the pleasure of either experiencing them on their journey or actually being in the churches with them over some 20 years, some a few years, and some, as Mercedes just recently. I've asked them to all share with in the context of investment and investing, and taking the next 60 seconds just to share what it is that investment looked like for them over the last year, and what the return or the reward benefit of that has been, and then also what it looks like for the next year.
Hi, I'm Diana Zisselman. I do business with my husband Jeff, who's on his way to Vietnam right now. And we live in San Francisco, California. I do this business, frankly, because my husband decided to do this business, and I was sort of not into network marketing. That's great, don't talk to my friends, let's just keep this between us. And then I came here and came to an event that was like, oh my God, this is an amazing group of people, amazing science. So I was sold on the business, and the best part for me is the relationships. And I wouldn't have those relationships had I not invested in going to TEU every month and every event. And at first I was like, holy cow, we're spending a lot of money. Like, I just saw it as an employee, like, I'm spending money and all this money is flowing out, what are we doing? And my husband, who's a true entrepreneur, is like, we're investing, and the best investment we can make is in ourselves. And I was like, but we're not making any money. That part doesn't matter, because this is a long-term thing. And like Charlie was saying, like, we're here for life. So I want to get through to that first brick wall quickly and launch out of it. So honestly, the three things I can tell you about committing and investing are, one, for me, TEU was critical because my whole upline was a bunch of dudes. Like, I'm like, I got a professional wakeboarder, a motorcycle shop owner, and a college student. I'm like, I'm having a little trouble relating to these guys sometimes. My husband is a super type A. So for me, I needed to see other people in the business and other women I could relate to. So people like Wendy Rockwell was one of the first people I met. I was like, oh, cool, I get her. So that was really important. The second piece was the learning, that these guys can't spend, he's got 120 people here today, not to mention all the other countries. He can't spend all this time teaching, so it was a lot of learning. And the third thing was people see who you are. If you want to, some people like to be in front of the room. And if you want to be in front of the room, you actually need to be here so you can see what it is. So, thanks.
Thank you.
Hi, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Kawaguchi. And investing is probably one of the things that my husband and I do a lot of throughout our careers. We're both certified public accountants, a certified fraud examiner, and I have a lot of other little things that I've done in my lifetime as well. And I think that this just kind of falls right into my pattern of things that I do, which is to look inward, and for me, if I'm frustrated, then I really feel like I don't have the tools that I need. I don't have the inner strength that I need for whatever it is I'm taking on. And this network marketing has been completely new for me. I didn't even know what network marketing was until Brett came into my life, and thank God that he did. And so it's been a great investment because I've learned so much about myself just going through this personal journey and personal development, doing a lot of personal work just to get myself into a space where I really feel like I've invested and learned as much as I can to keep going in a forward momentum. And that's really what keeps me going. And so I just can't say enough about the Shirlaws program, TEU, and all of Charlie and Jed's just mentoring, and all of our upline and sidelines and cross lines and downlines. Just, you know, everybody has taught me something about myself as well. And so I thank all of you for reflecting, because that helps me a lot as well. So just really, really grab onto the investment and take it on and own it.
For those who don't know me, I'm Jeffrey Kawaguchi. I am a certified public accountant in a traditional business model for over 30 years. A defining moment in our lives happened when Pam and I lost our mothers in 2008. We knew we had to do something different in our lives. We decided to embark on this personal growth journey. Our instructor, Brett Guida, showed us something different about our lives, something new about our life. Charlie coaching Pam in a 90-day program. It enabled a resistant traditional business guy to be open enough to see the opportunity of Nuskin and what it could do. My new identity, Coach K, I've been a mentor and coach of small business environment. But I've come to identify and coach people on a bigger scale and teach leadership skills and personal growth skills and developing the family legacy that I want to teach to future generations. And I can't just thank everyone here, Shirlaws, Jen, teaching me my identity, teaching me who I am, teaching me how to be a leader of myself, teaching others to be leaders of themselves. And that's what it's all about. It's about service and contribution, leading others. When you become a leader of yourself, you will attract other leaders into your life. And I just can't say how important this Nuskin business model is. A personal growth journey disguised as a financial business.
Jeff, you share with everyone what happened with your business as I mean, you guys have invested TEU is invest in your own personal development with us, and Jen and Stu in the San Francisco area with this community. What happened with your pit title and your business in November?
The Shirlaws class gave us so many business tools on how to communicate so effectively with our prospects. We were hanging around with Lapis for probably the last 2 years. Our business just unconsciously just took off. We're five-legged Ruby right now.
They add that they went from Lapis to five-legged Ruby in 1 month.
My background is in the fire service. That's all I've ever done. I live in the San Francisco Bay Area. And when I started this business, I thought it was like firefighting. I would show up at people's doors, hook to the hydrant, it was just flaked out. I said, here's a business for you. You call 911, here it is. A lot of people are like, wrong address, bro. Like, why aren't they getting this? And Charlie invited me to this program. Shirlaws, and one of my weaknesses I knew all along was being a conversationalist. That's always been something I'm fearful of. And the first meeting we had with the group, at the end of the session, they were saying, okay, now let's go home and have a conversation. I was so scared. I got up, started crying, and stormed out of the room. And that's when I realized, okay, really it's just a skill set. And like Charlie showed you, everywhere in my life that I've skilled up, I've been successful and made it to rapid growth. And that's what Shirlaws has brought to me now. It's a skill set, it's a playbook. I don't need to be scared of it, it's just practice. And I'm getting much better at it. The compliments I get from people now is substantial. So now I know, instead of just showing up to 911, I know to show up and listen. That's all conversation is. And once I recognize there's an opportunity to present a solution and serve the 911 needs, it's simple.
Hello everybody, my name is Mercedes Morales. I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I just want to talk a little bit about my background. I came from Wall Street, about 9 years, kind of never really involved in it, just kind of like on the sidelines. So I really wasn't on Wall Street, I was kind of on the sidewalk. I always watched, people making deals, winning, not winning, making money, losing money, getting really angry, getting really happy, and I kind of was like pretty fearful of it, and I never really got involved. And so when I left the business, I didn't really know what I was going to do, and Casey Council found me, came to convention, and I was like, holy cow. I saw the vision, I was clear. It's like, I wanted to engage my entire career on Wall Street, but I never had the opportunity. And so when I came to convention, I saw the vision, I was like, oh my God. I probably came in really hot. I bought 72 4-packs of pearls. But I remember telling myself, just investing in yourself, and anything you can bathe in it. You can bathe in it. So, and I've been continuing to invest in myself and going to TEU. I went to both kickoffs, Shirlaws, and basically whatever Casey Council says, I do, because I know that I want to be her sooner than she is her. So, and right now, like what I'm experiencing is some monumental growth, and I'm really excited about it.
My name's Rick Ginoff, for those of you who know me, and for those of you who don't know me, my name's Nathan Ritz. Funny Nathan. I use humor when I'm on the edge of emotions. Like Diana, the more women in the business, the better for me. And but the thing that Mercedes said hit me pretty strong. Those of you who've been around a long time have seen me at every single thing. The only time I've missed a TEU or any event is because of a speaking engagement, and it's been a long time since I've missed anything. And getting more, probably a lot of you have experienced a lot of success somewhere else in your life. I know a lot of you, and I know you have. And you get to the point where you think that's who you are, that's success. And it's not, it's just what you did. So you have to stop and take a look at yourself. And look at your methods and your habits, and look at which habits are effective, not good or bad, just which ones are getting you where you want to go, and which ones aren't. And, you know, I'm a mother of a lady who's an incredible leader. And when we met, she was a student in a classroom, that's all. And for the first 3 years we knew each other, that's what she was to me, just one of the students in the classroom, somebody that came up and said hi. And yet she's the one who turned me on to the journey that I'm going to probably be on until I die, and that is the journey of working on me. And the more I seem to work on me, the better I get at doing the things I want to do. And I fall back to old habits all the time. So if you're falling back to old habits, know that there's someone else in the room doing it. And what I've been able to do is, you know, I was $2,500 away from Ruby once. And I was so excited. Patrick Baum, Casey's upline was calling me, Charlie and Jed were calling me. It was amazing. I had 3 very strong legs. 2 of the legs, one of the legs was 11 executives deep, or 8 executives deep. And I was like, I could taste the Ruby trip at the tip of my tongue. 2 months later, I was down to 1 leg. And it's really funny because the lady who needs that leg continues to be an example for me. Her name's Beth Bowles, you know. She's always working on herself, and she's not measuring herself by what she did in the past, only what's possible in the future. So a lot of times I'm not only looking to my upline Casey, who I live with and hear on the phone every day and see this advanced growth, I get to see it in my team. Today when Charlie said you're a reflection, you know, your business is a reflection of you, that's not always a nice reflection. Sometimes it gets like vomit in your throat. What I've invested is the leg that Beth is in now is, I don't know, pays what, 7, 8 executives deep. And that started with the investment into Shirlaws and myself. And Charlie said something today that I know, and I didn't realize, like it didn't resonate with me, that the longer you're in the first brick wall, the stronger the explosion after. Believe me, I'm going to hit Ruby and be team lead 3 days later.
One of the things that I really want to point out with everyone that's up here is that yes, they've invested in themselves in personal development years, right? Some longer than others. Some others that are on the beginning journey of really that investment in themselves and personal development. And it is a financial investment. It's a financial investment for them to come out to TU every month. It costs money, but the exchange, it's priceless. And if I look back at that, literally I've spent somewhere between $45,000 and $50,000 coming to TU for 9 years. I know 7 years it was $40,000. And we're just about to surpass $3 million in commissions. That's the only investment I've had to make besides the own product I use. So was it worth it? It cost me 40 grand. To me, it's priceless because we're set. We don't have to continue to do this business. It'll reward us for the rest of our lives and it's passed on to our kids. Our trusts are set up and our families are taken care of because of our investment. But the piece that you guys don't see here is what they're doing when they're not here. And that is the investment in the trenches. The investments with their upline in working their business with prospects. They're out in front of people. They're putting all of this framework into practice and they're getting out there and they're getting really comfortable with being uncomfortable. And they come back every month and we all come together as a group and we support each other when one of the strongest men I've ever met in my life leaves the room in tears. And Jed's looking at me like, inside I'm going, holy. So That's what I want to say, because these guys are all incredible examples. As many more of you are, but I don't have time to pull everybody up here that I could today. But, you guys, it's been a pleasure.